Hello, welcome to my channel. How are you guys doing today? So in today's video, of course, making rounds, right? We've all heard about the Texas flood, right? And how Trump cut funding for natural disasters, specifically in Texas. And I'm telling you, this year at this point is literally wrapping up. The world is literally wrapping up, from air crashes to wildfires and now floods, right? And now I've seen my share of floods in Nigeria, especially in Lagos, Kogi, Abuja, and other parts. But specifically, I've never seen this magnitude of floods in my life right now than the one we are witnessing in Texas, right? And a lot of MAGA I hear, crying, especially the MAGAs in Texas. They're crying about this flood and how disappointed that no one actually is trying to come and help them, So it's actually kind of crazy. Guys, stay tuned and take a look.
Good morning, Texas. It is now July 5th. Have you even heard from your president? Has he even made an announcement on social media? God knows he's on there all goddamn day, all goddamn night, and he hasn't said a word. He cuts all of the funding to the things that are going to keep people safe. Keep people safe, because he doesn't believe in climate change. Well, all of you don't believe in climate change for some strange reason, but that's another topic. But you haven't even heard a damn word out of the alleged president's mouth about all of the flooding that's taking place. All of the people in Texas who have died because of this flood. How many people are still missing? All of the property damage. But nope, not a tweet for you guys. None. That's because the alleged president doesn't care about you. Donald Trump doesn't care about the citizens of this country. He only cares about himself, his family, and his little billionaire buddies, and how they can line their pockets, cutting everything in this country that citizens need to survive. The Weather Service, NOAA, all of these things, FEMA. Who's going to help you rebuild? Who? The damn man hasn't even acknowledged you. Hasn't even acknowledged you. But yeah, happy 4th to you, right? Happy 4th of July. You gotta be kidding me. And you people fall for his bullshit. Line after line and time after fucking time. The man does not care about this country. He only cares about the billionaires. He only cares about how anything benefits him. The rest of us and the rest of this goddamn country, we are disposable. Anyway, it's just another friggin' day in Trump's America.
Breaking news. The Trump administration just announced that Medicare will stop covering telehealth starting April 1st. This is going to be devastating for so many seniors who are homebound or don't live close to a doctor's office. Look, you don't have to be the congressman from Silicon Valley to know that doctors and nurses should be able to use telehealth if they think that will make their patient's life better. We need to stand up to these Medicare cuts.
When the river comes up like that, there's no time. There is no time. It was 30 feet when it rolled through. Imagine a wall 30 feet tall of water just blowing through. It takes everything, as you can look at the trees and the bark and the cars.
What I heard on this river that night was just more mind-blowingly chilling.
And there was screaming. There was so much screaming. It's just started banging on doors, getting people out, and people were trying to get their belongings, and we're like, there's no time, you need to go.
I realized the window was broken, so I swam through the window, and I was standing on that meter box right there for the next 3 hours.
As much as we want to pray and hope, there's only so much a human can actually hold on.
We found 2 young girls out near the Hunt store, and then about 10 o'clock we found another little girl wrapped up in debris in a tree.
It's devastating. It's all gone.
We're definitely getting more encouraged with just being together.
It breaks my heart. It makes me feel a little helpless because we can't help those people, but it also makes me want to double down and help those that we can.
And if you would like to help the people of Central Texas, we have a list of organizations accepting donations. You can find.
We didn't know this flood was coming. Rest assured, no one knew this kind of flood was coming. We have floods all the time. This is the most dangerous river valley in the United States. I agree. And we deal with floods on a regular basis. When it rains, we get water. We had no reason to believe that this was going to be anything like what's happened here. None whatsoever.
Look at your own forecast, and the amount of rain that fell in this specific location was never in any of those forecasts.
20% reduction in weather balloon launches that carry those radiosondes. And what we're starting to see is that the quality of the forecasts is becoming degraded.
This rain event sat on top of that and dumped more rain than what was forecasted on both of those forks.
Includes severe cuts, additional cuts to NOAA, which would shutter all the national labs. I'm talking about the National Severe Storms Laboratory over in Oklahoma. They've improved our ability to warn people about dangerous severe thunderstorms and tornadoes, for example.
You're all in media. You got that forecast. It did not predict the amount of rain that we saw.
Please pray. God, do.
And then I can't tell myself not to ride along with you. I had all and then most of you, some and now none of you.
This came at night. Repeat the voice.
Sitting me back to the night we met. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, haunted by the ghosts of you.
This is crazy. I know we're not Kirk County. I know we're not Kerrville. I know we're not San Angelo or San Antonio. But hell, we're human beings. Help us. Give us what we need.
And this was her before the events that happened in Texas.
What you gonna do, crybaby?
With alligator
I'll wear Alcatraz merch if I want to. And what you gonna do, baby? I'm going to tell you FA and FO, okay? So you have the day.
That agree with people that make statements like this. Like this. Like this. Or like this. They even created AI videos of Donald Trump holding a Latino man over alligators and snakes. But when shit happens to you specifically, we're supposed to have some empathy. Why you're wearing the Donald Trump bullshit ass hat? Why you're saying bullshit like this online? And now you need help. Now you begging on TikTok. Somebody help you? The way the universe works is you get the energy you put out. What you put out there, you will receive. You cannot act like you don't give a shit about other human beings, and then when shit happens to you, those who actually care about humanity should forget everything you fucking said, everything you fucking did, and show some empathy. I do not. The only empathy I have is for the children who are unalived senselessly because of the Trump administration's policies. The only sympathy I have is for the people there who voted for humanity. The rest of y'all kick fucking rocks. Oh, and P.S. the same people that you're so gleeful that they're going to alligator Alcatraz are the same people in Texas helping you motherfuckers out. Watch this video and I won't be back. While our government sent the military to go guard a fucking park in motherfucking California like there's rioters and there's not, you know what the Mexican president did? She sent a team of firefighters and rescue personnel to Texas to assist with search and rescue efforts following the devastating floods. Watch this video.
No hay muchos trofeos, con ustedes tengo, y aunque te lleve el sangre me duele.
Even with the tariff wars and some of the most disgusting racist shit you guys have said about Mexican people, they are here trying to help. They actually care about humanity while we're paying $200 million for a fucking military in California to be on horses and not do shit. We are a fucking embarrassment.
And I screamed, God, I don't know what to do.
Diana Smith waking up to find her house surrounded by floodwater. It was too late to evacuate.
Open the front door and it sweeps both my dogs different directions, and I'm panicking thinking, now what the hell am I going to do? I said a prayer when I was standing on my porch. Both my parents are deceased, and I said, Mom, Dad, God, help.
She and her 2 dogs surviving by jumping in a kayak and literally riding out the storm.
Do you think it's that prayer is why you're here today?
Yeah. I have a kid.
Diana and David are among the survivors here in Kirk County who found a way to survive the impossible.
I don't know what to think. I think I'm still in.
This is what I like to call instant karma.
You know, Grandma, I wasn't going to step up on your video this morning.
You just couldn't help out of
but I'm going to have to do that.
People.
We're not going to help out anybody. Y'all been living on food stamps, EBT, Section 8 housing your entire freaking life.
This is crazy. I know we're not Kirk County. I know we're not Kerrville. I know we're not San Angelo or San Antonio. But hell, we're human beings. Help us. Give us what we need. We are a older community. A lot of our people don't have insurance. They don't have money. Kind of a forgotten community for Travis.
All y'all saying Trump cut funding, we had to cut funding. The Democrats, Joe Biden, sent billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine. Just think if that money had been spent right here. That's why Trump's having to cut funding.
I'm glad we can agree on one thing. I'm glad that we can agree that Trump's budget cuts had a direct impact on this tragedy in Texas, this flood. I'm glad we can agree on that. But you don't get to blame a previous administration and their budget for the budget that this administration just passed. Because I have been hearing it for 6 motherfucking months that we need to cut taxes so that I can have a little bit more money in my pocket. You all want to cut services that benefit everybody so that you can have a little bit more money in my pocket. And this is a direct fucking result of that. Direct result. And 80% of that money being sent to Ukraine was old fucking equipment. I know because my unit got entirely new Bradleys, but that's besides the point. The real issue is that collectively, us as a society went to the voting pamphlet and we made a decision. Am I okay with more people dying by cutting social services so that I can have money in my pocket? And the majority of Americans said yes. That is the harsh reality of the decisions that we make. Just for the record, I'm not blaming this tragedy on people that voted for Trump, man. This tragedy is way, way too fucking serious. But there are consequences to how we vote. There are consequences to cutting climate science's budget. You do not get to blame any other.
You ain't mad? They have lost everything. How are they supposed to apply for something if they don't have electricity that does not get their baby fed in this moment? Like, I'm so fucking mad.
Hi, Mama Tot. So this was you back when Joe Biden was president and a devastating flood hit North Carolina. And back then, you were just so fighting mad that the government wasn't doing anything to help our people. Well, fast forward to Trump being in office and a devastating flood hits Texas. Let's see how you feel now. I'm sure you're pissed.
First responders, Cajun Navy, you name it, volunteers are all down there in efforts to help the community where the flood has taken the lives of 50 people, and they are doing everything that they can.
What? Ophelia, why ain't you mad? Right now, we are giving tax cuts to billionaires, and people in Texas who have lost everything only get $770? And you're not mad. Ophelia, why don't you come over here and join us? Come take a seat, okay? Why don't you explain to us why You guys only seem to get mad at hurricanes when a Democrat's in office. Can you explain that to us, please? Ophelia, can I tell you why you should be mad? Because Trump and Elon Musk cut 1/3 of the workforce at FEMA. In fact, Trump wants to phase out FEMA entirely and just let the states handle their own shit whenever they get hit with a natural disaster. And this doesn't make you mad? Because I would love to see some consistency in this character that you're pretending to be on the internet. So why don't you let us know when you run out to your car with a passionate rant about the Trump administration? Because as they continue to strip away help from those who need it the most, it seems like this Mama Tot character has nothing to say about it. So let us know when you do. Alrighty? Okay, thanks, Mama. Okay, good luck.
A river that floods all the time and has killed many, 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 many people over the years. And people that know how dangerous this river can be suddenly have no idea whose job it was to make sure after the warnings, areas, campgrounds, and areas along the river were secure, that people evacuated. Nobody knows whose job it was. Well, it was, let's talk to, nobody knows. So my question is, does anybody know whose job it's going to be in the future? And does anybody have a plan? Anybody that stops this from happening again? Because I haven't heard one. Here we are a week later and no one seems to step up and say, this is what we're going to do so it never happens again. If you've seen that, let me know because I haven't seen it. But so far, it's just a bunch of Republicans going, let's not really focus on whose responsibility it is. What? That's all we want to know. Whose job was it to make sure no one was in the path of all that water? Whose job? And whose job is it going to be in the future? Unbelievable. The stupidity.
Breaking news, Trump said there was nothing he could do, but it was Mexico who stepped up to save lives. While the floodwaters swept away homes, families, and hope in South Texas, the governor appeared on television, his voice shaking, saying his hands were tied, that he had no resources, no way to help. But someone did. From across the river, without cameras, without promises, hundreds of Mexican rescuers crossed over on their own. They came with backpacks on their shoulders, trained dogs by their side, and hearts full of faith. They didn't wait for orders. They didn't ask for permission. They just heard the cry of a neighbor, and they answered. And now, in the mud and rubble of cities like Laredo, Eagle Pass, and Mission, the loudest voices aren't speaking English. They're speaking Spanish, Mexican voices saying, hold on, we're here. Because while Trump locks himself in his office and the governor throws his hands up to the sky, Mexico is waist deep in the water, pulling people out alive. Today, Texas faces its worst climate disaster in years. The first to react was not Trump, but the people arrested in the United States. So ask yourself if you believe Trump's immigration policies are wrong. Drop a thank you, Mexico, in the comments and share this story before politics buries.
If you wanted to know what it was like when the waters in Texas came flooding in, this is your video. This is only one example. You can see the water rushing in, and in a matter of minutes, it will rise up to the level of this bridge that somebody is recording off of. You can see all of the debris coming down the river. This water may not look as fast moving as it is, but it's very fast, it's powerful, it's strong, it's taking down entire trees. And as you can see, now it is almost level with this bridge. And by the end of this video, it will be covering the bridge. This is another look of a time lapse of a river rising about 100 miles from Kerrville. This swell happened in a matter of 10 minutes.
We didn't know this flood was coming. Rest assured, no one knew this kind of flood was coming. We have floods all the time. This is the most dangerous river valley in the United States. I agree. And we deal with floods on a regular basis. When it rains, we get water. We had no reason to believe that this was going to be anything like what's happened here. None whatsoever.
Look at your own forecast, and the amount of rain that fell in this specific location was never in any of those forecasts.
20% reduction in weather balloon launches that carry those radiosondes. And what we're starting to see is that the quality of the forecasts is becoming degraded.
This rain event sat on top of that and dumped more rain than what was forecasted on both of those forks.
Includes severe cuts, additional cuts to NOAA, which would shutter all the national labs. I'm talking about the National Severe Storms Laboratory over in Oklahoma. They've improved our ability to warn people about dangerous severe thunderstorms and tornadoes, for example.
You're all in media. You got that forecast. It did not predict the amount of rain that we saw.
Please pray. God, do.
And then I can't tell myself not to ride along with you. I had all and then most of you, some and now none of you.
This came at night. Repeat the voice.
Taking me back to the night we met. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, haunted by the ghost of you.
119 people are 173 still missing. And the governor of Texas said this.
You ask, I'm going to use your words. Who's to blame? Know this. That's the word choice of losers. Let me explain one thing about Texas. And that is, Texas, every square inch of our state, cares about football. You could be in Hunt, Texas, Huntsville, Texas, Houston, Texas, any size community, they care about football. High school, Friday Night Lights, college football, or pro. And know this, every football team makes mistakes. The losing teams are the ones that try to point out who's to blame. The championship teams are the ones that say, don't worry about it, man, we got this. We're going to make sure that we go score again, and we're going to win this game. The way winners talk is not to point fingers. They talk about solutions. What Texas is all about is solutions.
You are not about solutions. How tone deaf can one be when over 100 people are dead because of failed policies by a state that has been controlled by people who do not even acknowledge that climate change is a real thing? And yet you're talking about winners and losers. It's not a football game, Greg. People are dead. And you're talking about Friday Night Lights and Texas football? I want to read Texas Monthly's Dan Solomon put it quite well. There are no winners in a devastating storm, suggesting that all of us asking that reporter's question, including Texans who lost loved ones, are losers, is wildly belligerent and tone deaf, but also Abbott seems to misunderstand how successful football teams operate. True. Solomon would also write, this isn't the first time on his watch that Texans endured weather-related tragedies. They boiled snow when the water was unsafe to drink. They waited days on end for the power to come back, and they were promised that things would be different. Yet, we've learned that when disaster strikes, we're on our own. Then there's also Texas Senator Ted Cruz, who stripped weather forecasting funds via Trump's big, beautiful bill, whatever you want to call it. Or if you're Chuck Schumer, it's I renamed it to a different bill. How can you call yourself pro-life when you continue to show you don't care?
My heart really goes out to Texas right now. What we are seeing is heartbreaking. People losing homes, livelihoods washed away, families left in shock, trying to make sense of what just happened. You know, the water came fast, the pain even faster. But what made this moment even harder is the sense of betrayal many are feeling, especially those who have stood by President Trump. Because when disaster strikes, we all look up to leadership, to expect someone to show up, to help, to take action. And now people are realizing some of the funding that could have made a difference, that could have, helped them prepare or recover faster, or scout right, not by political enemies, not by stranger in DC, but by someone many believed in, someone they trusted. And now, people are in shock, and people are, this isn't the moment we've, voted for. This is a moment for reflection, because at the end of the day, nobody deserves to suffer like this. Republican, Democrat, Independent, it doesn't even matter at this point, right? Because what matters is that floods don't care who you voted for. Nature doesn't discriminate, right? But when the help doesn't come, the hurts, especially when you believed help would, be here, and help never shows up. I see the frustration and I see the anger, and I understand, because people would always feel the way they feel irrespective of who they voted for, right? And if you're feeling abandoned, confused, or you feel as if nothing is going to come true, what you are feeling is real, and it's okay to question things, right? So, guys, it's kind of crazy, and I don't know how people are taking it right now, but my heart really goes out to people in Texas and people elsewhere in the world who are suffering from any form of natural disaster, right? So, guys, what do you think? Please drop your thoughts in the comment, hit on the like button, share this video. Please do me the honor and hit on the subscribe button. If you haven't done that, hit on the notification bell in order not to miss any of my videos. Please stay safe out there. See you in the next one. Have a great day.